As I first read this piece, I was instantly intrigued by the struggle of Jewish life and marriage under the oppression of Roman rule. A husband who had had enough and was willing to fight back at all costs, and a wife who was terrified to lose her provider and the father of her children. But one day, one man, one encounter would change everything. The soldiers came for him at night. For months, my husband had been hiding in the shadows, preaching to anyone who would listen that the Romans' rule over us must be stopped. Their oppression must be met with force. They were robbing us to line their own pockets. So he stole back from them. Charge 1, banditry, punishable by imprisonment. Then one night, he had not expected the old Romans to fight back. Killing for the cause became easy. The man I once knew as my husband had now become the movement. My Barabbas was no more. Charge 2, murder, punishable by beheading. After that, time for me became a blur. People always at my home, whispering in the dark. The tension became almost unbearable as the mission engulfed him. A mission from God above, he believed. When a fight broke out and some damage was done to a Roman's property, the governor said that we, the Jews, had to pay for it. He insisted the money come from the temple tax. Never. That was the last straw for Barabbas. He gathered more people. Charge 3, insurrection, punishable by crucifixion. That night they came for him. He had run home after the riot. He knew they were coming. He was ready to go. How many had he killed? Did they get the message? Nothing scared Barabbas. He didn't even look back as they took him. So he was thrown in prison. Yes, nothing scared Barabbas. But I was terrified. I knew what crucifixion meant. His hands would be nailed to the horrid cross they would force him to make. Arms outstretched in agony, trying to breathe by pushing himself up. And then they would break his legs so that he would slump and no longer be able to breathe. This man who vowed to use his last breath against the Romans was getting his wish. But how was I to live with that? Then came the day. The impossible happened. I was at the table preparing the Passover meal. My neighbor Dibri ran in a fit. Run to the praetorium. Pilate is bringing Barabbas out. Run. I'll stay here with your babies. Hurry. So run I did. I could hear the soldiers stating Barabbas's charges as I got there. Guilty of mob violence, guilty of murder, guilty of insurrection against Rome. I pushed forward as best as I could until I saw him there. Nearly naked, standing before Pilate and that awful crowd. He was so thin, bloody, filthy, confused. I tried so hard to get his attention, just to let him know I was there. But he just kept staring to his right, to this other man they brought out. The crowd was yelling, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" I had not expected it to happen that day. My heart was pounding. My body was weak. I was sobbing, but I couldn't even hear myself cry over the din of the crowd. Then somehow I realized the crowd wasn't screaming to crucify Barabbas, but this other man. The man that Pilate was calling the King of the Jews. Even Pilate looked confused. Why? What evil has this man done? But the crowd just kept yelling, "Crucify him!" What was happening? I tried to get closer. I tried to fight my way through the crowd. "Barabbas!" I cried. But he just kept looking at this man, this Jesus. From his judgment seat, Pilate's face couldn't hide his shock. The centurion yelled to the crowd, "You scream Barabbas for Jesus? You scream this silent Jesus to be crucified in place of this corrupt, condemned insurrectionist, a murderer?" But the crowd just grew more vehement. Eventually, Pilate relented. He forfeited Barabbas for Jesus. A Passover pardon, he called it. The soldiers unchained Barabbas and threw him to the feet of the crowd. Finally, I got to him on the ground, kissing his bloody face through my tears, not caring that he resisted me. He just stared in disbelief. "This Jesus," he said, "I know he is innocent. I am guilty of my crimes. I was prepared to die for the cause and have my name be known forever as the man who fought against Rome. But this Jesus, he is innocent. He never said a word. Yet he's dying in my place. What kind of fool does that?" I did not understand this. I did not care. My husband was free to live, free to look after me and his children. The crowd that cheered for his release soon forgot about him. I begged Barabbas to come home, but he simply said no. I must see him. I must follow him. So we waited on the street. Out came Jesus. Oh, poor, poor Jesus. This man who was to die in my husband's place. Bloodied, bruised, and beaten, and then forced to carry a cross. I heard Barabbas whisper deep in his throat, "That could be the cross they had me make." We followed Jesus to Golgotha. Barabbas couldn't take his eyes off him. As Jesus hung there, having refused the wine mixed with gall that would offer some relief from the pain, he endured the ridicule and hate, taking it all in silence. Why? Why? If he were the Son of God, as they said he was, couldn't he have come down? Couldn't God have saved him? The sky grew dark. Dark as night. What was happening? I moved closer to Barabbas, terrified. I wanted to run away, but had to stay. Then a cry. A piercing cry from this dying man. We heard him. We heard him cry. It is finished. And then silence. Not many stayed there till the end, but we were with him. The centurion staggered from the sight and stumbled toward a few of us who were standing there. His wide eyes met Barabbas's. Then, weeping, he fell to his knees. "Truly," he said, "this man was the Son of God." As if in slow motion, I watched as Barabbas knelt beside the centurion. "I believe you," he said. They locked eyes, communing something they could not yet understand. No one did. This Jesus died in my husband's place for my husband's sins. Barabbas was forgiven because Jesus died. I stood there, hardly being able to comprehend what I was witnessing. insurrectionist was gone. The mission, gone. He turned to me and he grabbed my hand and pulled me close to him. He held me like he had never held me before. My husband, my Barabbas, was changed. As we turned to look back to Jesus, tears of desperate sorrow streamed down Barabbas's face. And he said, "Truly, you were the Son of God."